Yes,
Senator
thank you,
Pavley.
Madam President. This is on a very different kind of subject. It's one, though, I'm passionate about. Senate Bill 1427 is sponsored by the California Disability Services Association. There is no opposition to this bill, and there's been no vote so far. This bill will improve job discovery and job training, matching unique set of skills by the developmentally disabled adults, and placement for individuals who have these unique skill sets in appropriate job settings. Recent federal changes require the state to increase opportunities for individuals with development disabilities to achieve competitive integrated employment, and to do this by March 2019. If we do not meet these goals, California may lose the opportunity for billions of dollars in federal matching funds. This bill directs the Department of Development Services to blend existing service options to maximize job discovery and readiness for individuals with development disabilities. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Pavley. Members, is there any discussion or debate? Seeing none, is there any objection to using a unanimous roll call? Hearing and seeing none, ayes 34, noes 0. Thank you, members. Measure passes. File item 188, Senator Jackson. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 1435 by Senator Jackson, an act related to school curriculum.
Senator Jackson.
Good afternoon, Madam President. So nice to see you after the 4 hours and 15 minutes that we've been hanging out together. I present today to our colleagues SB 1435, which requires the health framework for California public schools to include comprehensive, age-appropriate information on the development of healthy relationships. As many of you recall, this bill is the next step in our effort to reduce sexual assault, bullying, and harassment among our youth by building on SB 967, California's Yes Means Yes legislation, and SB 695 from last year that required all high schools that have a health course to include curriculum in sexual assault and harassment awareness and prevention. If we do not act now to educate our children on healthy relationships, starting at the earliest possible age, there will continue to be incidents of sexual assault, bullying, and violence, and we will continue to have to allocate funding to respond to these situations. If we teach our children at the earliest possible stages in the most age-appropriate ways about communicating, about, as my daughter told my granddaughter yesterday as we were FaceTiming and she was staring into the phone when I was asking her questions, use your words. I think that is a basic but critical component that we need to teach children. And if we do this, we will see as children grow, there will be less inclination to the kinds of behaviors that cause the criminal behavior, that cause the assaults on campus, the kinds of things that we as a society want to discourage and end. This measure takes a proactive approach to this issue by providing opportunities for elementary and middle school children to develop the emotional and social skills to treat each other respectfully and with dignity. This measure has received bipartisan support, and I would respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Jackson. Members, is there any debate or discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen? Aye. Anderson? No. Bates? Bell? Aye. Berryhill? Aye. Block? Aye. Cannella? Aye. De Leon? Aye. Fuller? No. Gaines? Galgiani? Aye. Glazer? Aye. Hall? Aye. Hancock? Aye. Hernandez? Aye. Hertzberg? Aye. Hill? Aye. Hueso? Aye. Huff? Jackson? Aye. Lara? Leno? Aye. Leyva? Aye. Liu? Aye. McGuire? Aye. Mendoza? Aye. Mitchell? Aye. Monning? Aye. Morlock? Morrell? Wynn? Aye. Nielsen? Pan? Aye. Pavley? Aye. Roth? Aye. Runner? Stone? Vidak? Aye. Wykowski? Aye. Wolk? Aye.
Please call the absent members.
Bates? Gaines? Huff? Lada? Morlock? Morrell? Nielsen? Runner? Stone?
Ayes 29, noes 2, the measure passes. File item 189, Senator Hertzberg. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 1444 by Senator Hertzberg, an act related to personal information.
Senator Hertzberg.
Thank you very much, Madam President. A few bills ago, I presented a measure on ransomware. Ransomware is, again, where a hacker comes in and takes over your system and says, give me money and I'll give you back your system. But there's also a very pervasive aspect of what's going on in the whole internet, in the private sector and in the public sector. In the private sector, we've seen it with Target, we've seen it with Kroger's, with Home Depot, with Zappos shoes, all example after example of where these extraordinary hacks happen. In the government, we saw at UCLA's health system suffer an attack that has exposed the names, birth dates, social security numbers, and some medical procedures for 4.5 million patients. And it took 8 months to determine that the system had been hacked, and 3 more months to notify patients that their information has been exposed. The state auditor found in September 2015 that 73 of the 77 state agencies have not fully implemented IT standards for security. This bill says enough. Our job is to protect the public, not only when there's a problem, not after there's been a breach, but before it's happened. We've got to get ahead of the game. We've got to move these folks in a way where they start thinking more proactively with respect to providing these protections for these cybersecurity attacks. That's what this measure does. I ask for your support.
Thank you, Senator Hertzberg. Members, seeing no discussion or debate, is there any objection to using a unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 35, noes 0. Measure passes. File item 190, Senator Galgiani. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 1456 by Senator Galgiani, an act relating to drinking water and making an appropriation therefore.
Senator Galgiani.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, SB 1456 relates to the Safe Drinking Water Revolving Fund. This legislation will allow customers of water utilities regulated by the California PUC to benefit from the loan forgiveness program under the Safe Drinking Water State Revolving Fund program. In some areas of the state, investor-owned public water systems are the only option to provide safe drinking water to small, severely disadvantaged communities. The Safe Drinking Water Revolving Fund assists water systems in financing the costs of drinking water infrastructure projects needed to achieve or maintain compliance with the Safe Drinking Water Act requirements. By allowing these PUC-regulated water providers to become eligible for loan forgiveness, customers in these severely disadvantaged low-income areas of the state will be able to enjoy the benefits of projects approved by the Safe Drinking Water Revolving Fund. Thank you. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Galgiani. Members, seeing no discussion or debate, is there any objection to using a unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 35, noes 0. Measure passes. One moment. Back to our file order, 192, Senator Leno. Oh, we already did this one? My apologies. File item 193, Senator Morlock. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 1463 by Senator Morlock, an act relating to electrical lines.
Senator Morlock.
Nice to see you, Madam President. Governor Brown declared May 1 through 7 as Wildfire Awareness Week. It began last year. California experienced two of the most destructive wildfires in the state's history. One, the Butte Fire, was caused by an electrical wire. Colleagues, since 2007, Laguna Canyon Road has seen 46 vehicle collisions with overhead poles with electric lines. One electrical spark could start a conflagration compounded with our state's drought, tree mortality, and beetles. With Senate Bill 1463, we simply ask that the California Public Utilities Commission prioritize areas in which communities are at high risk from the consequences of wildfires. We have been working diligently with all the impacted parties, and SB 1463 will ensure that the concerns of local governments and fire departments are incorporated as part of the discussion moving forward. It is critical that the local voices are heard and that the appropriate steps are taken to ensure public safety in our communities. We have had no opposition votes, and I strongly urge an aye vote. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Senator Morlock. Seeing no discussion or debate, members, is there any objection to using a unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 35, noes 0, measure passes. File item 194, Senator De Leon. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 1464 by Senator De Leon, an act relating to greenhouse gases.
Senator De Leon.
Thank you, Madam President. Colleagues, 1464 adds new oversight criteria to the greenhouse gas investment plan prepared by the Department of Finance every 3 years. What this bill does, that it ensures expenditures of cap-and-trade funds are properly quantified as well as tracked so they can actually result in greenhouse gas emission reductions. In January of this year, 2016, the LAO recommended several new criteria to be added to the law to ensure cap-and-trades are properly tracked and spent. With more than 12 different agencies administering a variety of programs to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, it is important that these expenditures actually be properly tracked and verified. There is no opposition to this measure. Madam President and colleagues, I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Senator De Leon. Members, is there any discussion or debate? Seeing none, members, is there any objection to using a unanimous roll call? Thank you. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen? Aye. Anderson? No. Bates? Bell? Aye. Berryhill? Block? Aye. Cannella? De Leon? Aye. Fuller? Gaines? Galgiani? Glazer? Aye. Hall? Aye. Hancock? Hernandez? Aye. Hertzberg? Aye. Hill? Aye. Hueso? Aye. Huff? Jackson? Aye. Lara? Aye. Leno? Aye. Leyva? Aye. Liu? Aye. McGuire? Aye. Mendoza? Aye. Mitchell? Aye. Monning? Aye. Morlock? Morrell? Wynn? Nielsen? Pan? Aye. Pavley? Aye. Roth? Aye. Runner? Stone? No. Vidak? No. Wykowski? Aye. Wolk? Aye.
Please call the absent members.
Bates? Berryhill? Cannella? Fuller? Gaines? Galgiani? Aye. Hancock? Aye. Huff? Morlock? No. Morrell? No. Wynn? Nielsen? Runner?
Ayes 26, noes 5, the measure passes. File item 195, Senator Hernandez. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 1471 by Senator Hernandez, an act relating to health professions development.
Senator Hernandez.
Thank you, Madam President. Members, this bill helps provide much-needed funding for the Stephen M. Thompson Physician Corps Loan Repayment Program, which provides loan repayment to physicians who dedicate 3 years to providing direct patient care in medically underserved areas. This bill allows part of that new funding to be prioritized for the loan repayment of physicians that specialize in and provide psychiatric services. With that, I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Hernandez. Any discussion or debate? Seeing none, members, is there any objection to using a unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 37, noes 0, measure passes. Members, we are going to run back through. We have gotten to 195. Great job today. We are going to run back by the items that were passed on file in case any members want to bring those items up. File item 100, file item 101, file item 102. I could probably help you by telling you if it was yours. One moment. File item 103, Wolk. File item 104, Allen. File item 105, Hernandez. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 1428 by Senator Hernandez, an act relating to contracts.
Senator Hernandez.
Yeah, thank you, Madam President, members. It's becoming an increasingly digital world. Consumers that sign up for automatic renewal contracts are often required to call telephone numbers in order to convey their desire to not renew these services. Consumers must then talk to sales representatives, which often an intentionally frustrating and burdensome process. This bill requires that businesses offering automatically renewing service agreements provide online methods of cancellation to these consumers. I could be emailing or someone online method does not prohibit provisions of toll-free number for the consumers wishing to call. This bill seeks to provide consumers with easy options while seeking to protect them from undue penalties and fees. With that, members, I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Hernandez. Any discussion or debate? Seeing none, Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen? Aye. Anderson? No. Bates? Bell? Aye. Berryhill? No. Block? Aye. Cannella? No. De Leon? Aye. Fuller? No. Gaines? No. Galgiani? Glazer? Aye. Hall? Aye. Hancock? Hernandez? Aye. Hertzberg? No. Hill? Hertzberg, no to aye. Hill? Aye. Wayso? Aye. Huff? No. Jackson? Aye. Lada? Aye. Leno? Aye. Leyva?
Aye.
Aye. Liu? Aye. McGuire? Aye. Mendoza? Mitchell? Aye. Monning? Aye. Morlock? No. Morell? No. Wynn? No. Nielsen? Pan? Aye. Pavley? Aye. Roth? Aye. Runner? Stone? No. Vidak? No. Wykowski? Aye. Wolk?
Please
Aye.
call the absent members.
Bates? Galgiani? Aye. Hancock? Mendoza? Aye. Nielsen? Runner?
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Ayes 25, noes 11, measure passes. File item 106, Senator Nielsen, not at his desk. File item 108, Senator Jackson, pass on file. File item 110, Senator Wolk, pass on file. File item 111, Senator Gaines, not at his desk. File item 118, Senator Pan, pass on file. File item 119, Senator Bell, not at his desk. Pass on file. Thank you, sir. File item 124, Senator Allen. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 916 by Senator Allen, act relating to teacher credentialing.
Senator Allen.
Members, we're one of only 2 states in the country that don't have teaching credentials for theater and dance teachers. And this measure, SB 916, seeks to reestablish these single subject credentials in theater and dance. So the idea is that new teachers seeking to teach in these subjects wouldn't be required to earn a credential in an unrelated subject. Under existing law, teachers wishing to teach theater have to go get a credential in English, and those wishing to teach dance have to go get a credential in PE, even though the training in English and PE are not necessarily related to theater and dance instruction. For those teachers who have completed the required coursework to teach theater and dance in addition to another subject for which they've earned a credential, nothing will change. We grandfather everybody in. The bill has no opposition, and I very much urge your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Allen. Seeing no discussion or debate, members, is there any objection to using a unanimous roll call? Hearing and seeing none, ayes 36, no 0, measure passes. Members, we are going to return, or we're going to lift the call on file item 112. One moment, members. Yes, Senator Jackson?
Take up a matter, I apologize, that I had passed on file.
Yeah, we're not done. We
Okay,
will
very
definitely
good.
come back
Thank you.
to
It's
that.
file item 108 when you're ready.
108, you got it. Thank you. Okay, we're going to lift the call on file item 112, SB 1150, Senator Leno. Secretary, please call the roll. The absent members.
Allen. Block. De Leon. Aye. Hall. Aye. Hertzberg. Hueso. Aye. Lara. Aye. Liu. Aye. Mitchell. Aye. Pan. Roth. Runner.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Allen, aye.
Aye.
One more time, Mr. Secretary.
Block. Aye. Hertzberg. Pan. Roth. Runner.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Place the call. All right, members, we are going to move back to file item 111, Senator Gaines, and then we will go to file item 108, Senator Jackson. Senator Gaines? Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Concurrent Resolution 145 by Senator Gaines, an act related to Prostate Cancer Awareness Month.
Senator Gaines.
Wonderful. Thank you, Madam President and members. Today I bring to you SCR 145, recognizing September of 2016 as Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. SCR 145 recognizes that an estimated 1 in 7 men will develop prostate cancer in his lifetime, with an estimated 180,000 new cases of the disease in the U.S. in 2016. It reminds us that when diagnosed early, this form of cancer can have a survival rate approaching 100%, but when the disease spreads to other parts of the body, the survival rate drops to 28%. SCR 145 encourages awareness of prostate cancer to save lives through early detection, diet, and medical choices. Each man should be able to make an informed decision with his healthcare provider regarding early detection and testing for prostate cancer. I urge an aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Gaines. Any discussion or debate? Seeing none, members, is there any objection to using a unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 35, no 0, measure passes. We are going to return to file item 108. Senator Jackson, Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 1336 by Senator Jackson, an act relating to dependent children.
Senator Jackson.
Thank you, Madam President and colleagues. This is SB 1336, which is a bill with the goal of improving efforts to identify and prioritize relatives for placement of children in foster care. The intent is to reduce the time they spend in foster care and to help improve their chances of being reunified with their parents or reach permanency with a relative. The bill does this in 2 important ways. First, it would codify the family finding rule of court, which requires a dependency court judge to make a ruling of whether a county child welfare agency has exercised its due diligence in searching for known relatives when a child is removed from the custody of his or her family due to abuse or neglect. Secondly, it affirms how and when preferential consideration of relatives is considered by a county child welfare agency in order to ensure that children in foster care are provided every opportunity of being placed with a relative caregiver when it is in their best interests. There have been concerns raised by the California Welfare Directors Associations, to which I am sympathetic and have been meeting with them. Most recently, last Friday, we are working with them to develop mutually beneficial language that meets these goals of ensuring that relatives are not arbitrarily denied consideration while also balancing the challenges of county workloads in today's current challenging fiscal situation. This bill has had no votes. It has had bipartisan support, and I would ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Jackson. Seeing no discussion or debate, members, is there any objection to using a unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 36, noes 0. File item 142, Senator Wolk. File item 147, Senator Jackson. Not at her desk. File item pass. File item 152, Senator Pan. Not at his desk. File item 160, Senator Lara. 160. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 1227 by Senator Lara, an act related to conservation.
Senator Lara.
Thank you, Madam President and members. SB 1227 would require the California Conservation Corps to collaborate with the California Department of Veteran Affairs in addition to the Employment Development Department to better assist Veteran Corps members transitioning to employment after completing their Corps program. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Senator Lara. Seeing no discussion or debate, members, is there any objection to using the unanimous roll call? Seeing and hearing none, ayes 36, no 0, measure passes. Thank you. File item 161, Senator Hernandez. Pass on file. File item 162, Senator McGuire, not at his desk. File item 163, Senator Hancock, not at her desk. File item 167, amendments pending. File item 169, Senator De Leon. File item 169. Mr. Secretary, please read.
Senate Bill 1325 by Senator De Leon, an act related to hazardous waste.
Senator De Leon.
Thank you, Madam President. Colleagues, 1325 repeals an obsolete law that has currently prohibited DTS from imposing hazardous waste closure requirements unless they are done as part of an enforcement order. The bill also directs DTSC to adopt new closure requirements for hazardous waste by January 1st, 2018. This bill is one of several recommendations made by the DTSC Independent Review Panel to recommend permitting, enforcement, and community outreach reforms. 1325 removes the barriers in current law so the department can ensure that once a facility is closed, it has set aside the funds necessary for insurance, surety, as well as other bonds and other insurances to ensure that the site is actually cleaned up. Again, this measure has no opposition. Hopefully, it'll be a candidate for a unanimous motion, but we'll find out. Madam President, I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Senator De Leon. Seeing no discussion or debate, unfortunately, we do need a roll call vote, Senator De Leon. Mr. Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen? Aye. Anderson? Bates? Bell? Aye. Berryhill? Block? Aye. Canella? De Leon? Aye. Fuller? Gaines? Galgiani? Glazer? Hall? Aye. Hancock? Hernandez? Aye. Hertzberg? Aye. Hill? Aye. Hueso? Huff? Jackson? Aye. Lara? Aye. Leno? Leyva? Aye. Liu? Aye. McGuire? Aye. Mendoza? Aye. Mitchell? Monning? Aye. Morlock? Morrell? Nguyen? Aye. Nielsen? Pan? Aye. Pavley? Aye. Roth? Aye. Runner? Stone? Vidak? Aye. Wykowski? Aye. Wolk? Aye.
Please call the absent members.
Anderson? Aye. Bates? Berryhill? Canella? Aye. Fuller? Gaines? Galgiani? Aye. Glazer? Aye. Hancock? Hueso? Aye. Huff? Lano? Aye. Mitchell? Morlock? Morrell? Nielsen? Runner? Stone?
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Ayes 28, noes 0. The measure passes. File item 170, Senator Lara. Mr. Secretary, please read.